Hi, I'm Scarlett, Executive Director of Unify and founder of White Lotus Global Initiative. We're so grateful to have with us today Sarah McCrum, author of the best-selling book, Love Money, Money Loves You. Now more than ever, the money conversation is very important for us to be having with each other, directly and in forums and in more intimate settings like this. This is about the operating systems of how we do and be in the world. The three dinner table conversations that we're not supposed to ever bring up with people are politics, religion, and finances, right? But not because they're bad topics. It's because they're threads that run deeply in us. They're threads that connect to our ideas of belonging and survival, and so they can be triggering. But in this time on the planet, in the throes of polarization over every topic you can think of, probably one of the best things that we can be doing might be to restore our healthy relationships within ourselves, especially with money and abundance and what that means in our lives. I hear from so many people around me that are wonderful people doing fantastic things in the world, but they're struggling. They're struggling with finances. They're struggling to make it. They're struggling to figure out how to break through that ceiling. And these are times in the world where we must be learning new ways. We must be contributing to human evolution and our evolution in the midst of all things. This is one of the key ways I really believe that we can do this. So Sarah McCrum has graciously offered this workshop for us, the Global Unified Community, so that we can explore our relationship with money and lift the ceiling of what is possible for us and our lives. Sarah, welcome. Thank you for being with us today.
Thanks very much, Scarlett. I'm delighted to be here, and thanks for hosting this and introducing it to a new audience.
Of course, we're so glad to. So tell us a little bit about yourself, your story, and what led you to write this book, Love Money, Money Loves You.
Well, it's interesting what you said, because I definitely grew up in a family where we didn't talk about politics, religion, or money ever. And so I wasn't naturally made to be a person who would end up teaching people and running workshops about money and our relationship with money. What really my story was, I started out as a teacher. And then because my sister died when I was about 30, I had a really big life change. I realized that everything that I'd learned so far wasn't really working very well. It didn't seem to kind of make life come alive for me. And so I started searching for something different. And I got into working with Chinese masters. I did many years of Qigong and then many more years. I did 22 years altogether of training with Chinese masters. And what that meant is that I was learning about energy, everything about energy, energy for healing, energy for health, energy for business, relationships. How does energy flow between human beings and in and around us? And how does that shape and influence our life? But there was a point that came where my energy around money was really not working. I had no money. I was living comfortably because I was living in a place where we could grow our own food and I had accommodation. I was looking after somebody else's place, but everything was completely blocked. And at the same time, I'd been running a business that had a really horrible failure. I mean, any business failure is horrible. And what happened is that I found myself writing messages from the energy of money. It was like money came in to rescue me from this really dire situation and show me a bit about what it really is. So I was literally journaling and my pen was writing on the page without my words flowing into it. And it was the money describing itself as an energy and telling me all about it, like in a very intimate conversation, just saying, look, you've really misunderstood money. I'm very different from what you thought I was. And let me share something about myself with you. And it went on doing that for a few months. So I ended up with a whole lot of messages about money, which turned into my book, Love Money, Money Loves You. And from there, I've been teaching about that. I've been practicing. The first thing I had to do was practice, actually learn for myself how to shift my relationship, how to teach other people about it, and how to embrace the wider themes that come out of that, which is how do we combine wealth and well-being? How do we live a rich life? How do we really experience that fulfillment that makes us feel that we're experiencing abundance, and from which greater abundance automatically flows as well. So that's kind of like a little bit of the highlights of what got me to be sitting right here, right now.
Amazing. And Sarah, what would you say is the difference of your approach to money? What's different about just the way that you approach it versus what someone might hear in the world about money?
I think the key difference is really because of the story I just told you, like other people don't usually have conversations with money, and so they don't have, we always look at money as an external thing. It's out there, it's something we need to deal with. It's some people do talk about our relationship with money, but I think what's really different is that money showed me things about itself, and I'm going to show you a little bit later some of that. It showed me things about itself that like I had never even dreamt of. And I find most people, when they start to read the book and they start to engage with this, they say, oh, this makes sense to me. It's not just making sense to my mind. It's like, this actually feels right. This is like what I think that I've always known inside me, but I could never access, because everything that I learned about money, even the really great stuff that teaches us about manifestation, doesn't quite touch that point where you just feel like, oh yes, this is it. So I think that's a really big difference, just because I got trained by money in a way. It was like money itself was saying, hey, Sarah, and it was a pretty tough trainer. Like I've not been given an easy ride, I would say. I've had to learn everything in my reshaping of my relationship with money step by step. I wasn't given any kind of lottery wins or easy tickets. It was more like, no, you've got to learn this properly, Sarah. So yeah, it was a very different process of learning about money.
I love what you're saying about that, Sarah, because that is my favorite way to learn, when I get to experience that inner resonance with what is being told to me. And I just know it's like the deepest kind of knowing. It becomes real from the inside out somehow. So I think that's
Exactly.
fantastic that you got to have money as your personal teacher and trainer. Um, what can you tell us about, why do you think that money is especially an important topic for us now as we're approaching 2025?
Well, you actually named that in your introduction. I think we all know that our financial systems are changing. Um, they feel very threatened because they're the old system, and there's a way in which you know in your own body when an old system is leaving you or an old pattern is leaving you, there's this feeling of fight. So I think we can expect, as the old systems change, and I know they're changing, not only from what I can see in the news or in the alternative media, but I know that the energy itself is changing. The Chinese have amazing systems for reading the energy systems. And that financial control energy, which is a metal energy, has been very prevalent for decades now. And it is literally going down very, very rapidly. It's just not going to be strong anymore. So controlling through finance is not going to be energetically supported anymore. Now, this is interesting because it actually means that there is a huge change going on, not even because the systems are outdated or don't work or are controlling us too much, but because the energy is changing, and nothing can resist that. But the challenge for us is that we need to build a different way, because we can't build a new system of money being in charge kind of thing. We've actually got to build a new system of social and personal organization that is in right relationship with each other and with nature, where money flows in a natural way, but not in a controlling way. And the honest truth is that, who knows how to do that? Who's been practicing that for years? I don't know anybody. I just don't know anybody who's really in that exploration, except we try, we all try, and we're working on it. So I think we're in probably a far bigger transformation than any of us can imagine. It's exciting, it's daunting, it's extremely challenging, because they will fight, because the only thing an old energy knows how to do is fight. And at the same time, this new different way has to emerge, because that's what human beings do. We are creative when we're under pressure, and we are under that pressure now. So I think now is the time to really go deep in this very fundamental part of our life.
Wow, I'm so excited that you shared that, especially that way, Sarah. It was so eloquent. It reminds me of the depth of philosophy and that you have as an engagement in all of the work that you do. And I'm also really excited in this moment that you are carrying this message forth as a woman. Not that this message is only for women, it's for women and men, it's for everybody. This is a message for all. But it is exciting because I sometimes think about the fact that my grandmother, in the United States, it wasn't legal for her to own a home when she got married. In order for her to actually be on the title of a house, a man had to be the person who owned it. And she wasn't allowed to have a credit card. That didn't come along until much, much later in her life. So this idea that women don't have what it takes to have a responsible relationship with money, and the fact that that has only even just been introduced on the table the past couple of decades, or couple of lifetime generations, that's mind-boggling to me. And I just am glad universally that we have a woman here who's like, hey, guess what? In this generation, I would like to carry this forward. Thank you for carrying the torch. I know you have a workshop that you have prepared for us today. Is that what you would like to move into now?
Yes, I would love to do that. I'd like to introduce everybody who's here perhaps a little bit more intimately and directly to this energy of money that I met and have spent a lot of time with. And the way I'd like to start off with that is by playing a video. And this is a video where I'm actually reading the very, very first message that I received from money. It's been set to music by the composer Gary Malkin, who's a very good friend of mine and a wonderful composer. And we recorded this in a studio together. He's improvising the music. And then another friend of mine came in and put video to it. And it's a very beautiful way for you to meet the energy of money personally. So as you watch this video, I'd like to invite you, first of all, to realize that this is money speaking to you personally. This message that it's going to convey is personally for you. Just allow yourself to really open and absorb what's being shared with you, because it is different if you've never heard it before. Michael, if you'd like to share the video. This is what money would like to say to you. I would like to tell you to love me. Smile at me. Collect me. Enjoy me. Feel my power. Spend me. Invest me. Give me. Pay with me. Take me. I am an energy. I'm very powerful and beautiful. I'm an incredible web of connections. I am light. You're too afraid of me, as you are of many things. You can open up and embrace me fully into your life. It's not too late. You can start now. Just open yourself and say yes. Be brave. Love me. Love yourself so you can accept my power, my glory, my light, my beauty. I'm not the devil. I never have been. I'm a glorious being of light. I connect human beings with each other. I'm so flexible. You can use me to channel your creativity. Just go ahead. I'm waiting for you. You must open your heart. You're too rigid, too afraid, and there's nothing to be afraid of. You will win not only me, but life also. I'm always here to help you. Just accept me, and I'll come to you very quickly. You've chosen to have more. There's a lot of me waiting for you. Don't wait, just take me. I will love you. And I'm going to invite you to stay with that energy. Okay, don't go into normal thinking mind. Let's just stay in this space of connection with this beautiful energy that has introduced itself to us here. So very different from how we usually get to meet money. And let's ask ourselves, everybody, even if you're very familiar with my work here, there are a few people here I know who are familiar with this, but let's each ask ourselves in a very personal and intimate way, if you have a relationship with money as it shared itself just here, as an energy of love, as an energy that connects human beings together, especially in our creativity and in our contributions to each other, in the things that we do for each other and share with each other, where money is the fuel of exchange between us, and where money is a way that I can give you freedom. I can give you something that you can do anything you like with in exchange for whatever you give to me. What a beautiful energy that is. If you have a relationship with money like this, can you sense into what would change over time in your financial life? Can you sense into how you could experience money, this kind of money, even in the technicalities of business, of work, of making money, of spending money, of investing money, of borrowing and paying back money? Of using money for your own personal benefit, to do something good for you. And of using money for the benefit of others. And what about generosity? What about if you could not only be generous to others, but you could also be generous to yourself? Put yourself in the position of being able to receive as well as to give, and of being able to share from your abundance. Because that's a beautiful place to be able to share from. And we all have abundance of something, every single one of us, even if it's not money right now. We have an abundance of something valuable. So let's tap in for a moment to this word valuable. Money is all about value. We exchange value. I give you something valuable. You give me something valuable in return. That's an exchange. And that one of those valuable things might be money. We don't usually exchange money for money, but we exchange money for something we value. So what if right at the heart of your relationship with money was value, what you value above all else? And that might be that your relationship with money is aligned with your values. So you don't make decisions around money that make you feel horrible, that conflict with who you really are. And what if you used money, both in the receiving of it and the paying of it, to reflect your values? Whether it's that you value beautiful clothes or beautiful things in your house, and you invest money in beauty because that makes you feel good, because that is warm and nourishing for your soul. Or that you value learning, or you value the land, and you use your money to support your personal values, not the values of your parents or of all the people around you who tell you what you should do with your money. But you really being very conscious and connected with yourself and with this exquisitely beautiful energy of money that is actually here to support that. That's what it's all about. That's what it showed me in my book very, very clearly. And let's take this exercise a little further. In my experience, one of the major causes of worry and stress and ultimately sickness is money. People worry about money so much and for so long that in the end it becomes, first of all, a grinding underlying energy that just drags your spirit down. And over time, that can literally transform into chronic illness, pain, and all these experiences that we don't want to have. So what difference would it make if you had a relationship with money based on love and peace and abundance and generosity to your health and your well-being? Can you sense into that to see if you can sense what your future would look and feel like if you had a really healthy relationship with money and you were relaxed about it? And whether you've got a lot of it or a little of it at the moment, you're not going to stress about it because you know that it doesn't help. You're going to find a way to solve the problem, as we all do. But let go of all that stress and tension and worry and thinking. What difference does that make to your health and your well-being? And in doing this exercise, you are actually already influencing your future, because how we are now and what we're able to not just imagine, but actually sense into, actually feel now, especially at a subtle level, this is the way that we change our future story. Not just in, 20 minutes in a workshop. Of course, it takes continuing practice, but I'm actually revealing to you right now the essence of how you change your money story, or actually any story in your life. And it's something that you do in this moment. You can't do it in the future. You can only do it now. You can only change your future now. And this is the way we do it. We sense into a better future. And you can feel it. So you're already living it. It's already here. And the more time you can spend doing this, rather than doing what we so often do, thinking about and worrying about, or pretending we're not worrying about money and other forms of scarcity in our life, what's missing, what's wrong. Like, let's tune into what could be so right, and you already have a part of it. You already know this signature, this vibration, this frequency. It's already here. And after this workshop, because we're a little shorter of time than we hoped to be, I'd like to recommend that you ask the same question about your relationships, your key relationships. How would your relationships be if you had this kind of relationship with money? And I will say that what I've seen is that people's relationship with money is remarkably similar to their relationship with a partner, if you have a partner, or to whatever your primary or most close relationships are. It's a little confronting sometimes to see that. It's like, oh my goodness, I'm the same with money as I am with my partner, or I am with my children, or I am with my friends. But it's a useful thing, because in shifting your relationship with money, it actually changes the way you relate to other people as well. And honestly, if you can do it, if you can become loving and soft and open and receptive to this energy that is seen to be the root of all evil and the cause of so much destruction in the world, you can become more soft and loving and open and receptive with a partner, or with a friend, or with your children, or with your parents as well. And that's actually quite a beautiful thing to witness. So after the session, if you've got some time, ask the same question about your relationships. And if you have a business, I really recommend that you look at how would your business change if you had this kind of relationship with money. And what I want to say to you is that that is not going to be a miracle. That is not going to be a lottery win. This is going to be an organic, beautiful transformation over time, over the rest of your life. Like, however much I've learned about my relationship with money, I am growing more every single day. And whatever I've been able to learn, and whatever problems I've learned how to solve, the more I'm able to do, the bigger ones I seem to take on. And those problems have become challenges. They used to be really problems. Like, they used to weigh me down and worry me, and I didn't know how to solve them. Now they become challenges. They become things that I want to do in the world that require a lot more money to flow through my hands. It requires a lot more organization for me to work with other people to do the things that I stand for in my values, which are about a well-being and a system that enables us to have this kind of relationship with money, which is what we should and could have as human beings, because we are fundamentally people who connect through love and do experience abundance, or we're capable of that, and who are fundamentally generous, as we discover every time there's a disaster and we see how people step up and help each other. That is our human nature. And so I can see the pathway. I can't see all the details, but I just see all the time, oh, there's this economy out there that makes sense, would make sense to every single person here. And that's what we need to build. That's a very big challenge, but I think that it's time for us to be working on that. And every single one of us who transforms our relationship with money does that. So I'm going to sum up this little workshop part of what we've done by giving you 3 things that make an enormous difference. People always say to me, how do I learn how to do this, Sarah? How do I, what are the tips that you can give me to start this transformation in my life? So one is actually, which I'll say before my 3, is do things like listen to this recording again. It's actually on YouTube. And in a moment, I'll put the link, or actually Catalina is here who works with me. She'll put the link to the YouTube video into the chat so that you can go and find it and watch it again, because I listen to that message from money over and over and over again. And every time I hear it to this day, it touches something deep inside me. So it's a really useful way to start to train yourself to have a different connection. The 3 things that I teach people more than anything is, number 1 is to relax. First of all, just to relax, not even relax about money, just relax. And funnily enough, when you discover how to relax, you find yourself relaxing about money too. And I find that usually it takes people about 1 or 2 weeks before they come along and start to say, hey, Sarah, I feel really relaxed about money now. Sometimes they say, my money situation hasn't changed yet, but I feel relaxed about it. And that means I can get on and do what I need to do. Sometimes they say, I already got a result. Something came, something happened by surprise, and I feel relaxed about it. Relaxing is the key because it makes you receptive. When you're relaxed, you're receptive. You actually can let some money in, okay? The next one is about appreciating the abundance that you do have in your life, however much scarcity is there. Because when we focus on what we want to grow, it's much easier to grow. If you focus on scarcity, you're giving your energy to scarcity. If you focus on what's missing or what's wrong, you're giving your energy to growing what's missing and what's wrong. And that is the last thing in the world you want to do. So look for the value that is you. Look for the abundance in you, the value that is abundant in you, and start from there. Because if you grow that, you'll find other things growing around it that are abundance and value. And that's the foundation of your relationship with money. Money is about exchange of value. Okay. And then the third one is simply about growing your understanding of what money is. We are far too ignorant, I would say, as a species on the whole, about what money actually is. One way you can do that is reading my book, Love Money, Money Loves You, because that gives you insight into what money really is. It's also valuable, I think, to learn some of the deeper stuff about our financial systems. I don't go too deep into that because it's a rabbit hole that I could easily get lost in. And I don't need to know all of it in order to transform my relationship with money. But I found it very helpful to touch into the dark side, so to speak, and also to touch into the power of money, which is not all dark. It's an incredible, powerful energy. To touch into that, because that helps me to be very committed to what I'm doing. If I live in a land where I deny what's going on in the world, I could just kind of sit and, enjoy my life. And I don't have that motivation for transformation. And I feel that motivation is very important in today's world. It will express differently for each person. We don't all need to be trying to change the economy or whatever. We each have our own piece. And anyhow, I can only do about the same amount as you can do. I just do my little bit, you do your little bit, we all do our bits together. But I do feel that understanding the energy of money is very important. So those are the 3 things I would say. If you want to do something now, relax, appreciate the abundance that is in your life, especially the value, the abundant value you have, and grow your understanding of money. So that's a little bit of an introduction to you, to this beautiful energy of money. And I'm going to go back to Scarlett now.
Wow. Wow, Sarah. I loved all of that, start to finish. I will definitely be listening to the replay, and I will definitely also go back to that YouTube video. Thank you for having it dropped in the link there, and we can include it on the Unify Live link as well.
Thank you.
So, I feel like maybe you just, I was going to ask you about your approach to how you usually teach people to shift their relationship with money. And I would guess that you would probably say those are the three things.
Well, yes. And let me tell you a little bit about actually how we do that, because one of the things I've learned is it's super easy to say somebody, oh, just relax. And it doesn't make any difference to them whatsoever. So, because, we all think, well, first of all, we think we know how to relax. And secondly, if you're tense, usually the last thing in the world you actually feel like doing is relaxing. Even if you'd like to be relaxed, it's like, but no, there's something going on. I've got things to be worried about. How can I relax like this? So I actually train people to relax. I teach them. I'm very lucky, having spent all those years training with Chinese masters, that I have the ability to transmit energy. And some of you probably can feel that. Like when I speak, you actually experience the energy that I'm talking about as a direct transmission. So when I teach people how to relax, I transmit the energy of relaxation through recordings, audio recordings. I have more than 1,000 recordings of how you can pretty much relax in every part of life. And can you just unshare your screen, please, Gudrun? I think it is. Thank you. Yeah. And so I actually give people recordings to listen to that teach them how to relax. And I ask people to practice that every single day. If you practice that every single day, you will relax about money, because you can't help it. Just 20 minutes a day is enough to start to unwind your nervous system and unwind all the systems that contract, which is just not just your nervous system when you're tense. So it's that little investment of time that opens up so much. But you do need to actually learn. It's an easy word to say, relax. You do need to actually learn how to relax in a way that enables you to be more receptive and open, and actually receive more energy as a result. So excuse me one moment, my screen has jumped. Yeah, and in terms of appreciating abundance also, it's easy to say that. I think what I like to do is model to people, often through questions and answers actually, how do we shift from this mindset or heart set of scarcity and fear into one of abundance, which is not usually like, oh, abundance. Oh, nature is so abundant, because nature actually can be very scarce at times. Try being a squirrel in the winter in the snow, and you're not experiencing abundance unless you put enough hazelnuts in your burrow. You're actually experiencing scarcity. So I think we need to be very real about abundance and see that life is a flow of abundance and scarcity. But we always are experiencing some abundance in the middle of that. And you need to watch, you need to see people making that shift, because then your energy learns how to do it too. You literally can watch people, and then your energy says, oh, I want some of that. And it starts to figure out how to do it. That's how we learn energetically. And in terms of growing the understanding, of course, like my book is really my source code, if you like, for my relationship with money. So constantly coming back, and I still do it in business. I'm constantly coming back and saying, I bet the book's actually told me how to do this. So coming back to, what is money really? And how do we do things the new way? Because it's so easy to forget and just keep doing it the old way by mistake. So those are the things that I do in the way that I teach people, so that they actually change. We don't talk about change, we do change. And then you experience it, and then you get different results.
Makes total sense to me. I know you usually have something that you offer, a way for people to engage or learn from you that is timely. And so I would love to know about what you have going on right now that would be an offer for us to be able to lean in and engage more, a course or webinar series, or whatever it is that you have, tell us about it. And within that, I also want to ask a little bit more about when people go through these things with you. I know we have some folks with us today that have gone through these things with you for quite a while in the past, but what kind of changes happen? What is that experience like?
Well, I'll say a little bit about what we've got coming up. Actually, I'm just going to put it in the context of, if this is resonating with you and you want to go further, There are 3 steps really. The first is go and watch that recording again, find it on YouTube. The link was put in here. The second is the book, Love Money, Money Loves You. And you will get the links for all of these things. We'll send them out to people afterwards. And then the third thing is that we're actually starting a book club, a 6-week book club on the 1st of January. I just decided 2025 is the year where we need to start with our relationship with money. Let's not leave it as an afterthought when everything's kind of going crazy. Let's actually get on the front foot and do it together, because it's much more fun together, and get into those conversations together with other people that I talked about earlier. How powerful it is to sit down and talk about your relationship with money with somebody else. So let's do it together. And I'll just tell you briefly what the bookshop is, the book club is. So it lasts for 6 weeks, and it's a series of lessons, if you like, which are fundamentally, they're very simple. It's usually reading 1 or 2 or 3 chapters of the book each day. So I've broken it literally into daily reading. And then sometimes there's a journaling exercise. Sometimes there's an energy activation that will teach you how to relax and how to enjoy money and how to transform your relationship with money. And sometimes there are other things that you can do. So it's activities that support your relationship with money. And then that's all backed up by 6 weeks, so weekly live coaching with me, where you can ask questions and you can actually witness those shifts in other people or in yourself that I described a little while ago. And then a community forum where you can share with others, and where I will also be there, so you can ask questions in between the live coaching sessions. And so you get to meet other people on the same journey. You get to actually do it together, which is way more fun. And it starts to open up this big, ugly secret of money and turn it into a beautiful, shareable secret that then isn't really a secret anymore. So that's the format of it. I think it will be really fun because it's such a fascinating topic, and it's so nice to turn lots of things on their head and make them much more appealing than they were before. You know, it makes money into a friend. That is way more appealing than having a very nervous or distant relationship with money. So that's my intention. And I'm just wondering, I'm looking, because really, in many ways, I think it would be better for, I don't know if there's anybody here, I'm looking, there was somebody here I saw before who had, if there's anyone here who's done work with me around money and could speak about what's changed for you, please raise your hand. And oh yeah, I see a few names. You know who you are. I'd love you to share a little bit of what's changed for you as a result of doing this. And I'd love to hear the really honest story, you know, because the journey of shifting your relationship with money, as I said, it's not a miracle story, although miracles can happen. It's really an ongoing engagement that changes things over time and grows you. So yes, let's start with Alexandra. I think it takes a moment or two for her to come in. So are you there, Alexandra?
Yeah, I just unstopped the video. Can you see me now?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I can't see you, but it's okay. Let's just speak.
Oh, okay. I just want to say I started reading your book in July and I really enjoyed it. But like recently I've been wanting some more reinforcement maybe around these concepts. And that's when I started exploring your website and I saw you were doing the book club, and it's like what you said. It's really nice to chat with people, because I had been doing some Deepak Chopra work with other people, but really not getting the engagement that I needed to and what I really have taken away is I really take pleasure in making money from my work and my business, but often I don't feel aligned sometimes with how I'm spending it.
Okay.
And
so are you changing that? Is that
yeah,
changing little by little?
it is. I think I have some stuckness around this is the way it has to be.
Okay. I think you better get into the book club,
Yes.
Alexandra. It's exactly
I
what
am
you're
in the
looking
book
for.
club. I am in the book club. But
You're in the book club?
yeah,
Okay.
I'm not, I don't, it sounds like you're doing something different because the book
So we're doing look, get in touch with Catalina, support at sarahmccrum.com. And if you want to upgrade to the book club, that is, it's going to be live. It's going to have coaching. It's going to have much more community engagement, then we can just upgrade you so you don't have to pay for the whole thing again. Just get in touch with us, okay?
Oh, so is that starting at a set time?
It's starting on the 1st of January.
Okay, okay. So yeah, the one that I'm engaging with doesn't have live calls.
No, that's right. So it's different. This one's different, and we're all going to do it together. Thank you very much, though. Thanks for doing the work, because that's what's important, is that you actually, you know, that you're looking to go deeper. That's the important thing, because that's what then makes you find solutions for going deeper. And if we would all do that, the world would be a lot better. Okay,
Yeah,
so
for
thank
putting
you.
it out there too.
Yeah.
Bye.
Okay, Dan, can you speak a little bit about how your relationship with money has changed as a result of your engagement?
Yes, it's that I no longer think that I have to do everything. Is what I was like when I was in my 20s, when
Yeah.
I actually had a visionary experience in 73, and a lot of people thought, it was the human condition, and then I immortalized that in the sculpture, Emergence and Transformations in 74. I was 21 years old, still in college when I did this. So I thought, oh, now everyone will get it. But guess what? Everything fell on deaf ears. So
So
I've been,
I just want to interrupt you there, because I think this is a very, very important point. So many of us, like me, have believed that if we have a spiritual experience, or we see how the world could be, or we become a coach and we understand how to help other people, we think that that's going to be our passport or our ticket to success, money, wealth, fame, whatever it is, not necessarily for selfish reasons, but because this is good work and it deserves to be out in the world. And then we have the crushing experience. So many coaches, I realize, knowing they could help just about anyone who comes across their path. And then people don't realize, and they don't buy it, and they don't know how to sell it. And it's so challenging. So money, you're really reminding us, money makes us very real. If you have amazing ideas and nobody pays you for them, we actually have to ask some questions. That's part of what we do on the course. We ask those questions, those really crunchy, challenging questions that make us get better. Was there something you wanted to add, Dan?
yeah, it's that in terms of the business, I'm very creative. I can create art. I'm actually have 8 books to write right now, and this has all happened. And I want to say this, Sarah, you are integral in this whole process for me, because I reached out to Sarah 4 years ago, and I saw Eleanor Hanlon as a guest speaker. I said, I need to connect with her. Now, I don't know how I know this, but it's something very intuitive, very instinctive.
Yeah, that's what we know. I'm going to cut it here because we've got very little time. Scarlett, do we have time for one more, do you feel, or is that really pushing it on your side?
Let's do one more. Yeah.
Yeah. Laura, thank you, Dan.
Hello. Yes, I came to Sarah's work a few years ago now. I'm a CPA, so I work with money all the time. And so I very quickly learned when I started reading the book and working with Sarah how victimized I felt with money and how I had no agency, no control, no say in anything. And then as I started really exploring and being with the book, I realized what a beautiful relationship could be possible with money. And I got to see how beautiful the energy of money is and how creative it can be and how it connects us all and is our system of exchange. And so for me now, it is this amazing partner in my life. And each time I go back to the book, it's like I've never read it before. And so it's this beautiful, evolving relationship. And money is part of the changes that we're seeing in the world right now. So that means my relationship with money will change also, and I will change. So it's constantly evolving and moving, and there's so much love. So the book is so valuable and really quite timeless, because as I said, each time I read it, it's brand new. Yeah.
Yeah, I find the same thing, even having written it. It's quite fascinating. Thank you very much, Laura. Scarlett, I'm aware we wanted to open this up to questions. We don't have time for that. So what I'd like to say is when I send you the email with the recording, I will also ask you if you have any questions, okay? And I will make a commitment to answer every question that I get sent by email. I'll either answer it on my YouTube channel and let you know where the video is, or I'll answer you direct in the email, depends what questions you ask, so that we can make sure that all those questions do get answered. So please open the email, even if you've been here. If you think you've got a question, or if you want to join the book club, the links for the book club, the video, all of those things will be in there. And I think that's the best way we can deal with that, given that we got off to rather a late start.
Yeah, little bumpy on the tech side today, but I couldn't even believe it when we came in right on cue with the video earlier. So tech, even in the face of tech issues, synchronicities abound, and we'll be in the spirit of receiving and aligned with abundance. Sarah, this has been such a rich and full and abundant space to be in with you today. And thank you so much for everything that you've shared so far. I know that I am definitely going to be checking out this book club. That sounds fascinating and useful and valuable and paradigm shifting, ceiling lifting, all of the above. So in closing, to let everybody know, we will drop the link to register for that in the Facebook Live on Unify, on Facebook.com/Unify, which is our Facebook page, where this live is. So everybody can go back to that link and revisit. Everybody who's registered, I think, will receive a follow-up email so that they have an opportunity to participate in this book club. And Sarah, let us know, for any of us that are here on the Zoom or the Facebook Live, how we can follow you, get in touch with you, stay in touch, learn more. Where do we find you? Where do we find your book?
I'm actually very easy to find. My email, I'm sorry, my website is my name. So it's sarahmccrum.com. You can see my name on the screen right now, sarahmccrum.com. You can find everything else from there. My book is on Amazon. It's on Audible as an audiobook. It's on Spotify. It's on pretty much all the online channels. You can get it as a paperback or as an ebook or as an audiobook. All my courses are on my website, sarahmccrum.com. So that's the best place to start.
Okay, easy. Well, I will be going to those places to find you as well. Thank you so much again. This has been such a treat, and I hope we get another one of these on the calendar sometime.
Well, it's an important topic, so I would be very delighted. Let's have a look at that. And thanks, Scarlett, for making this possible. You suggested it, and that's been great. And thank you for coming. For everybody who commits to their energy of money just that little bit more, it shifts the world a little bit more. And this is most important work that we can do at the moment. So thank you very much for being here.
Thank you so much. Everybody have a beautiful day.